The sound of glass and metal shattered the stillness of Washington, D.C. in the early hours of June 17, 1972. 5 men were walking through the DNC headquarters inside the WaterGate office complex. They were setting up wiretaps, taking pictures of private documents, and searching through drawers. They weren't there for furniture or valuables. They all carried stacks of $100 bills and were dressed in suits and surgical gloves. The men believed they were invisible. They weren't. A watchful security officer saw tape covering a door latch, which indicated that someone was attempting to keep it unlocked. He made a police call. Officers in plain clothes quickly surrounded the building and apprehended the intruders. It appeared to be a strange, isolated break-in at first. However, something was off. These were no minor criminals. 2 were connected to the CIA. They were all associated with the Committee to Re-elect the President, a political apparatus that aimed to win a second term for President Richard Nixon. The White House downplayed the incident in public, calling it a third-rate burglary. Nixon's aides were in a panic behind closed doors. They started collecting money to compensate the burglars for their silence, giving officials orders to deceive investigators, and even using the CIA to exert pressure on the FBI to back off. However, they had failed to account for 2 tenacious reporters, Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward of the Washington Post. They linked the money discovered on the burglars to a covert slush fund under Nixon's campaign control after receiving anonymous tips, most notably from an enigmatic source known as Deep Throat. They pulled another thread in the web of deceit with every article they published. The scandal was out of control by 1973. The nation watched televised Senate hearings where Nixon's former aides testified about systematic attempts to destroy the president's enemies, political espionage, and sabotage. Then the nation was shocked to learn that Nixon had surreptitiously set up a voice-activated recording system in the White House. All of the meetings, conversations, and whispers were secretly recorded. The tapes were demanded by investigators. Nixon declined, claiming executive privilege. The U.S. Supreme Court heard the case and unanimously decided that he had to turn them over. One recording, known as the smoking gun tape, stood out when the tapes were eventually made public in the summer of 1974. Days after the break-in, Nixon was heard scheming to use the CIA to thwart the FBI's investigation. Unquestionably, the president himself had planned the cover-up. The public's trust fell apart. Nixon received the same message from both party leaders in Congress: conviction was certain and impeachment was inevitable. Richard Nixon was the first American president to step down on August 9, 1974. He expressed regrets and mistakes in a televised farewell, but he never acknowledged any criminal wrongdoing. He waved firmly as he boarded Marine One a few moments later, and the helicopter took him away from the White House. American politics will always be scarred by the Watergate affair. It reshaped the role of the press in holding leaders accountable and demonstrated that even the most powerful office in the world is subject to the law. As a reminder of how easily trust can be betrayed when the truth is concealed, the term Watergate has come to be used as a shorthand for political scandal. And that was the scandal that led to the downfall of a president. Discovering the secrets that the past attempted to conceal is what History Hidden Scenes is all about.